originally been a church before its conversion. Thus it became a family joke that Gus, who would someday become a minister, was born in a saloon, while Maxwell, who would someday perform in establishments that served alcohol, was the one born in the church. Their father, Wilson McDaniel Mac Buttram, had something in common with his new son right away. Each was the seventh child in his family. Mac had first met his wife, Mary Emmett Maxwell, when her mother was his Sunday school teacher at Mount Hope. They were married in 1901 at Maxwell Chapel, the church near Haleyville that had been built with her family's own hands. As the family breadwinner, Mac had first been a farmer and mule trader, but then became a licensed circuit-riding Methodist minister in 1912, the third generation in his family to pursue a career in the ministry. He was appointed to the Addison Circuit and would serve 6 churches, which were situated in mining communities. These were very small churches, none of which could afford a minister. Thus they pooled their resources and hired Mac to attend to their spiritual needs. He would ride from one church to another each Sunday. During that first year, his salary totaled $206.19, so he continued to farm to bring in supplemental income and to feed his family. Parishioners and friends alike knew him as a very kind, caring man who had an abundance of faith and humor. Everyone loved him. Even though it was clear that their offspring needed a whooping now and then, Mac just couldn't bring himself to do it. Thus it became his wife's responsibility to administer discipline when the need arose. His wife Emmett had grown up as the oldest of 9 children, 7 of them being boys, so she was quite accustomed to dealing with youngsters. In later years, her sister Helen declared that Emmett was 25 years ahead of her time. She would make as crafts things that had been unheard of then, but would later become popular. She was also a wonderful seamstress, making clothes for her family that could rival any Fifth Avenue label. Once she had had 5 children, Emmett wanted a family portrait taken. She got everyone dressed up in their fanciest. The girls wore little white dresses with lace and embroidery, and had the portrait taken for posterity. This had been done in their home, and Emmett hung up a quilt behind them as a backdrop. That might have been due to her creative nature or, as Hallie would later suspect, because the house might not have been very tidy. Emmett was a wise and insightful poet as well. Here is one she wrote. "So little it takes to make us glad, a letter, a word, a smile, and the load is lightened through the day, and we sing a song the while. A little nod from a passing friend, a little child's gay call, the lilting song of the mockingbird, the wind and the pine trees tall. Just a line from friend or loved ones to say that all is well. So many things can make us glad, more than our hearts can tell. So little it takes to make us sad, the letter that never came, a frown, a sneer, a hasty look, and the day is never the same. Sorrows of a loved one or a friend, a little child's cry of pain, and the joy is taken out of the day to never return again. For our hearts respond to every joy, or they can be heavy and sad. So little it takes to make us blue, and so little to make us glad." Mrs. Buttram was a very faithful and supportive wife, going with Mac as he served from church to church throughout the years. The family would move frequently as a result. She was a highly intelligent woman and enjoyed teaching children. She was a regular volunteer teacher for their church's vacation Bible school. "She always taught us to be kind to all people," says Hallie, "even if it was somebody that we would not normally associate with." It could not have been easy for Emmett to get all the children ready to go to Sunday school and church each week, but she did it. Young people were her primary focus, and she would direct the plays put on by the church's youth and invite them to the parsonage for parties. She always had hot chocolate waiting for them.